Level 1. Seaman Recruit, the wannabe. You're 18 years old, fresh out of high school where you peaked as varsity linebacker. Recruiter promised you'd be kicking doors in 6 months, showed you the highlight reel, didn't mention the part where you spend 2 years scrubbing toilets before they even consider sending you to BUD/S. You're at Great Lakes Naval Station, basic training with every other kid who watched too many war movies. Your daily routine: wake at 0500, make your rack with hospital corners, march in formation, get screamed at for breathing wrong. You make $1,733 monthly before taxes. Your buddy from high school already makes $45,000 managing his dad's car dealership. But you're serving your country. That has to mean something. You apply for SEAL training. They reject you. Weak PST scores. Apply again. Rejected. Poor swimming technique. Third time, you barely qualify. They send you to Coronado. You're convinced you're special. You're not. You're just persistent enough to suffer. Subscribe before you learn that wanting to be elite doesn't make you elite. Level 2. Seaman, BUD/S survivor. You're 20 years old. You survived Hell Week. Only 43 out of 200 made it. Your class started with guys who looked like Greek gods. They quit on day 2. You're not the strongest, not the fastest, but you're too stupid to quit. That's actually the requirement. First phase nearly killed you. Hypothermia during surf torture, stress fractures from endless running on sand. You hallucinated during Hell Week, saw your dead grandfather cheering you on. The instructors don't care about your pain, they care if you quit. You didn't. Congratulations. You've earned the right to suffer more. Second phase, dive training. They drown you repeatedly in the pool. Tie your air hose in knots underwater, rip your mask off, simulate every nightmare scenario. You panic once, almost drown for real. Instructor pulls you out, gives you 30 seconds to decide, continue or quit. You continue because you've invested too much to stop. Third phase, land warfare. Finally feels like what you signed up for. Except it's mostly memorizing radio protocols and learning to read maps. The shooting is fun for about a week. Then it's repetitive drilling until muscle memory replaces conscious thought. You graduate BUD/S. They give you a trident. Your family comes to the ceremony. Your mom cries. Your dad's proud. Your ex-girlfriend who dumped you for a college guy isn't here. You pretend you don't care. You do. You make $2,089 monthly, still barely surviving. Level 3, Petty Officer 3rd Class, the new guy. You're 22 years old, finally assigned to a SEAL team, Team 7 in Coronado. You're the new guy. The boot. Every senior guy treats you like a servant. You carry their gear, prep their equipment, make coffee runs. You went through the same Hell Week. Doesn't matter. Hierarchy is hierarchy. Your first deployment is to Iraq. Ramadi, 2006. Everyone said the war was winding down. Everyone lied. You're stacking bodies, raiding houses at 0300. Kicking doors, zip-tying civilians, searching for high-value targets who are never actually there. Your platoon chief is a legend. 3 deployments, Silver Star, Bronze Star with Valor. He's also a functional alcoholic with a failing marriage who takes unnecessary risks because he's addicted to combat. You worship him anyway. He keeps you alive while teaching you to enjoy violence. You kill your first person during a roof insertion gone wrong. Insurgent with an AK, close range. You see his face, young, scared, just like you. You shoot him twice center mass. He dies gurgling blood. Your team chief slaps your shoulder. Good kill. You vomit after the mission. Nobody mentions it. You make $2,774 monthly, including hazard pay. Your girlfriend back home sends a Dear John email. Can't handle the deployment schedule, can't compete with the Brotherhood. You're not surprised. You're not even sad. The teams are your family now. Hit subscribe if you think war trauma builds character. Level 4, Petty Officer 2nd Class. The seasoned operator, you're 25 years old. 3rd deployment, Afghanistan this time. Hunting Taliban commanders in the mountains. You're good at your job now. Too good. Killing doesn't bother you anymore. That should bother you. It doesn't. Your team captures an enemy combatant. Intel says he knows where an American hostage is held. You're ordered to enhance interrogation. That's the euphemism. You waterboard him for 40 minutes. He gives up names, locations, everything. Intel turns out to be fabricated. He told you what you wanted to hear to make it stop. The hostage is never found. You write it up as intensive questioning produced actionable intelligence. Your LT approves without reading carefully. Everyone knows what happened. Nobody acknowledges it. Operational necessity. Ticking time bomb scenarios. Except there was no bomb, just a terrified man who probably wasn't even Taliban. You're drinking heavily now. Not just deployment drinking, back home drinking. DUI on base almost costs your clearance. Commanding officer covers for you. Combat stress. You get mandatory counseling. You lie to the therapist about your symptoms. Pass the evaluation. Return to duty. The cycle continues. Level 5. Petty Officer First Class. The team leader. You're 29 years old, leading your own fire team. 4 guys who trust you with their lives. That responsibility weighs different than you expected. You're not just risking yourself anymore. Yemen deployment. Advising local forces against AQAP. Advising means you're doing the actual operations while they take credit. You clear a compound believed to house an explosive cell. Find women and children instead. Bad intelligence. Again. Except your team already threw flashbangs. Concussive grenades in tight spaces. A 6-year-old girl loses hearing permanently. Collateral damage. Acceptable losses. You file an incident report. Gets classified immediately. Never investigated. The war on terror doesn't pause for moral inquiries. You're back on operations next week. Different target. Same probability of bad intel. Your marriage is failing. Second one. She knew what she was signing up for. Didn't expect you'd come home empty. Couldn't understand why you'd rather be deployed than home. Truth is, you don't know how to be peaceful anymore. Combat has a simplicity civilian life lacks. Clear objectives, defined enemies, no ambiguity. You make $4,297 monthly. Comfortable by military standards. Poverty by civilian tech worker standards. Your BUD/S classmate who quit now makes $180,000 at Google. No PTSD, no failed marriages. No blood on his conscience. You tell yourself he took the easy path. You're lying. Level 6. Chief Petty Officer, the institution. You're 33 years old, 8 deployments. You've killed 47 people. That's confirmed. Probably more you'll never know about. You've stopped counting. Stopped caring. The mission is everything. The cost is irrelevant. You're training new guys now. Teaching them what the instructors won't, how to compartmentalize, how to justify, how to sleep after doing things that should prevent sleep. You're creating the next generation of operators, passing down the trauma like it's tradition. Syria deployment, supporting Kurdish forces against ISIS. The operations are effective. The rules of engagement are flexible. You call an airstrike on a building with confirmed ISIS presence. I also confirmed civilian presence. Command approves anyway. Strategic value outweighs civilian casualties. 16 dead. 3 were combatants. You write the report, emphasizing the successful neutralization of high-value targets. Minimize the civilian deaths. It gets approved. It always does. Subscribe to understand how good people rationalize terrible things. Level 7. Senior Chief Petty Officer, the operator. You're 37 years old. Your body is destroyed. 3 knee surgeries, herniated discs, TBI from too many breaching charges too close. Tinnitus so bad you sleep with white noise. VA says you're 70% disabled. You're still deploying, still operating. Because what else do you know? Your daughter asks what you do. She's 9. You tell her you help people. It's not completely a lie. You just don't mention you help them by killing other people. Sometimes the right people. Sometimes whoever intelligence says is the right people. Sometimes you don't ask questions because the answers don't change the mission. You've lost 11 teammates. KIA. Training accidents. Suicides. You go to the funerals. You give the speeches about honor and sacrifice. You don't mention that 3 of them killed themselves because they couldn't live with what they'd done. That's not part of the narrative. Level 8, Master Chief Petty Officer. The legend, you're 42 years old, 15 years operating. You're a legitimate legend in the teams. Every new guy knows your name. Your record is classified, but the rumors are enough. You've operated in every combat zone since 2003. You've been shot twice. Survived a helicopter crash. You're invincible. Except you're not. You're a collection of trauma and prescription medications, painkillers for the injuries, sleeping pills for the nightmares, stimulants to stay functional. Your doctor wants you to retire. You refuse. The teams are your identity. Without them, you're just a damaged man with no transferable skills. You approve operations now more than execute them. Younger guys do the door kicking. You provide wisdom, institutional knowledge. Translation: you teach them to become what you became. Effective killers who don't ask uncomfortable questions. Patriots who confuse violence with virtue. The exit. You're 45 years old, mandatory retirement, 20 years service, full pension. You consult for defense contractors. $300,000 annually teaching foreign militaries the tactics you used. Some of those militaries have questionable human rights records. You don't ask. Not your problem anymore. You can't watch war movies. Too unrealistic. Can't attend 4th of July celebrations. Fireworks trigger panic attacks. Can't explain to civilians what you did. They want hero stories. You have war crimes with legal justification. Your 3rd marriage is stable. She accepts that you'll never be fully present, never completely honest, never entirely free from what you've done. Your grandkids think you're a hero. You let them believe it. The alternative is explaining that heroes don't exist. Just people who did terrible things for reasons that seemed important at the time. This is what they don't tell you at the recruiter's office. The teams don't make you elite. They make you effective. There's a difference. Elite suggests virtue. Effectiveness is morally neutral. You became an expert in violence, applied globally, consequences deferred, accountability optional. Don't forget to subscribe, because special operations don't create heroes. They create specialists in justified killing. Sometimes protecting freedom, sometimes protecting oil interests, sometimes settling political scores. And when you join thinking you'll serve honorably, you eventually discover that honor is whatever the mission requires. The trident stays polished, the conscience doesn't.